Welcome back. We're turning to sports with John Bennett. Now, John, I hear there's a little football game coming up this weekend.
Well, there sure is. A little football team called the University of Florida is coming to town, and as Eric Vollenroder tells us, it is kind of a big deal.
In the first matchup of top 5 teams since 1959, LSU and Florida will face off under the lights on Saturday. This game will also be a battle between the holders of the past 3 national championships. Florida comes in with a big question mark on the offensive side of the ball, with quarterback Tim Tebow's status still up in the air. And with or without Tebow, the Gators are still a dangerous team.
It's probably the biggest that it's probably going to get. Florida's the #1 team in the country, and we know that they play great ball and they have a long winning streak. So, we're going to try to give them the best game that we can and try to put our total offense together.
Jefferson's talking about an offense that is last in the SEC in total yards, with only a shade over 320 yards per game. And despite being undefeated, the Tigers have yet to put together a dominating performance on both offense and defense.
I agree. Our best football it hasn't come yet, and what we have to do is we have to put together the complete game.
The Tigers will be tested this weekend on the biggest stage possible. In addition to the CBS national television audience, ESPN's College Game Day will be on campus. The Tigers are 5-2 at home when Kirk, Lee, and Chris visit Baton Rouge.
This Saturday, man, what can I say? Florida, #1 coming to our stadium. It's gonna be an unbelievable time. This is pretty cheesy, and I've said this a bunch today, but this is really the kind of games that dreams that you dream of, and this is why you come to a school like LSU, is to play in these games where everybody's going to be watching and there's a lot on the line.
Eric Vollenroder for Newsbeat, on LSU.
The national spotlight on LSU will shine bright as ESPN's popular pregame show, College Game Day, will be filmed on campus. The day begins at 9 a.m. with a pregame show and will finally conclude with a postgame show on the parade grounds. Fans with no ticket to the game can watch it in the PMAC. Doors open at 6 p.m. Speaking of the Florida Gators, the LSU women's volleyball team will also play the #6 ranked Gators this weekend. First, the Lady Tigers, fresh off 4 straight wins in SEC play, host South Carolina on Friday night. Sunday's matchup between the Gators and Tigers will determine the second-best team in the SEC, and it's also a priority point game. Both teams' only SEC loss came from undefeated Kentucky. The LSU soccer team is also excelling in SEC play, sitting atop the entire conference at 4-0 in league play. At #10 nationally, the Lady Tigers have rolled through their first 4 SEC opponents by a combined score of 16-1. It looks to be another weekend of big margin wins as the Tigers face the SEC East worst in Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Friday night's match at Kentucky will begin at 6 p.m. and Sunday afternoon's game against the Commodores will start at 1 p.m. The NFL showcases its top teams this weekend with 3 different matchups between division leaders. Starting at Baltimore, the Cincinnati Bengals come to town to decide division supremacy in the AFC North. The NFC South's Atlanta Falcons, fresh off a bye week, will travel to the West Coast to play the 49ers in the marquee game of the day. The one-loss Patriots travel to the undefeated Denver Broncos to duke it out. The game has traditionally been very competitive, but will have added fire to it as former Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels squares off against his old coach Bill Belichick. And in the past, Bill Belichick has not been so kind to his former assistants, especially when they beat him.
Certainly looking forward to that matchup Sunday.
Thanks, John.